Lots of football coming up live from here in the stadium. Right now, as promised, let's move from Commonwealth Stadium, the best football stadium in this country, to downtown Edmonton. Here are Sharon Basaraba and Tom Harrington. Tom?
Thanks very much, Brian. And El Nino has been very kind to the city of Edmonton. We have a beautiful day. It's snow in Toronto, as you mentioned, but it is glorious here and perfect conditions for a parade. Downtown is very, very crowded, Sharon.
It is indeed. In fact, we're expecting as many as 100,000 people to line the streets of Edmonton for this big parade. We see them out there as many as 10 and 12 deep already. Clearly, they're just thrilled about this chance to show off Edmonton. Now, the theme is Party in Your Parka. But it looks as though they won't really have to wear too many parkas today. They've got memories of 1984, the last time Edmonton hosted the Grey Cup Parade, but conditions were frigid then, certainly aren't today, and it looks like it's just a fantastic day for a parade.
What a difference a year makes. A year ago, there were 30 centimeters of snow on the ground, and it was minus 35 up here, so we really caught a break today. It's a big parade, twice as large as last year's in Hamilton, close to 100 entries, and the theme in the City of Champions, home of many Grey Cup champions and Stanley Cup champions, is sports. And our man on sports, Mark Connolly, well known to the CBC Alberta audience, is our man on the street. Mark, take it away.
Thanks, Tom, and I've got my crowd trained. They're ready for the parade, and you know, it is a beautiful day out here, but there are some things you have to know when you're watching a parade in order to keep warm, and I've trained this crowd on some parade Tai Chi. Okay, everybody ready? All right! I told everybody they could say hi to their mom. Okay, look it, here comes the parade. Wrong way, it's coming from that direction. Ah, well, I'm doing a bit of a survey too. I know there's a lot of Argo fans out there, right? How about those Riders? Well, I guess I know which team I'll be cheering for, you know. I'm trying to stay on the crowd side. They're out here to have a good time. They want to stomp their feet. They want to keep warm. Everybody stomp. They're very cooperative. That's what I like in a crowd. I'm going to take this crowd on the road. Now listen, I hear a parade coming. Gang, it's almost time.
Okay, all right, Mark. Thanks a lot. Nice work on the crowd down there. Should remind you, too, that more than 10,000 folks from Saskatchewan move to Alberta every year. So you think this is a hometown crowd. This is a home city crowd for the Saskatchewan Roughriders on Sunday.
That's right. In fact, they have a joke in Saskatchewan that Edmonton is actually the third largest city in Saskatchewan. So if people here couldn't cheer for the green and gold, which they would dearly have loved to have done, they're cheering for the green and white instead.
Well, they call Edmonton touchdown town this weekend, and indeed it's been a party all week long, especially starting, I guess, since Wednesday when most of the people started to arrive. Last night downtown was absolutely crazy. So many people came in from Saskatchewan, and in fact there's a big agricultural exhibition, not unlike the Royal Winter Fair, in fact, going on in Red Deer, Alberta, and there are 70,000 people attending that. A lot of those folks are coming down tomorrow morning.
That's right. In the city there are about 8,500 hotel rooms, and last I spoke to a couple of different hotels as far as 40 minutes outside the city. It looks as though they're filling up, and the parade is underway.
And first down the chute, if you will, Western Talk in this home of the Canadian Rodeo Finals, the Edmonton Strutters Drum and Bugle Band. The Drum and Bugle Corps traces its beginnings back to the 1st Canadian Regiment Drum and Bugle Corps in 1963. Today the Corps is a precision drill and music team, 40 members altogether from the ages of 12 to 21, and luckily on a day like today there's no concerns about pursing those lips and pressing them against a cold metal instrument. Much different from a marching band like all Drum and Bugle Corps. In fact, the Strutters cannot use a wide variety of instruments. Drum and Bugle bands must only use horns that are in the musical key of G and have 2 or 3 valves. So you've got to have a very specialized skill to handle these instruments. The band's musical director, by the way, is Pauline Huber. Let's give a listen to see what the Edmonton Strutters are offering us in this Grey Cup Parade in 1997. Strutting your stuff in downtown Edmonton. You get a sense of the beautiful day here today. Just behind right there is the Winspear Center, a brand new art center that's been opened at Edmonton this year, and a remarkable story of support from a philanthropic Edmontonian who unfortunately never lived to see the event, the building open. And in fact, it's a real sense of pride in the city of Edmonton for that center.
Absolutely. It just opened this year to much fanfare, and it's a very, very beautiful building and a beautiful backdrop to the parade today. They look like they're happy not to be too cold as they play. Let's listen to them now. Edmonton Mayor Bill Smith giving a good wave, and isn't he happy? He would have been happier, of course, if Edmonton had made it into the Grey Cup past the Western Finals. He was disappointed, not just as the mayor, but also as a former football player. He was a defensive back, Tom, with the Eskimos years ago. Bit of political rivalry there. Also, he did invite new Toronto Mayor Mel Lastman to come to the Grey Cup this year, but I guess Mel Lastman had recently elected and said he was a bit too busy to attend.
Yes, it's the mega city against prairie wheat, I guess. Big country, big city in the Grey Cup on Sunday here in Edmonton. And I know Bill is a bit disappointed, as most people in Edmonton were, that the Eskimos did not make the Western Final, but the Saskatchewan Roughriders are a terrific story. They've come back from almost oblivion, selling a lot of tickets just to get the team on the field in 1997, going through some turmoil in the during the season, off the field.
That's right, and we've got a man who knows all about this Grey Cup celebration here. Don Sprague is the chairman of the 1997 Grey Cup festivities. Mr. Sprague, congratulations and hello to you.
Thank you. This is great. Look at the people lined here. We sold out most of the events. There's only about 1,000 tickets left. There should be close to 60,000 people in this stand. This city's going wild.
Now give us a word about the fact that Edmonton got the Grey Cup so late. How did you, clearly it hasn't been a problem for you.
No real problem. We have the greatest volunteers in the world, and everyone is having a great time, so no big problems yet. And no snow either.
Don Sprague, goodbye and have a great time.
Thanks very much.
And we've got a big fan coming up. Next down the line is a big fan with a big chance. David Budzinski has a kick at $1 million in tomorrow's Grey Cup game. If he can kick a field goal, Tom, from the 45-yard line, he'll win $500,000 for himself and $500,000 for the charity of his choice.
That's the Edmonton Northlands float now, and there it is, what they're playing for tomorrow, the Grey Cup. Edmonton Northlands stagecoach transporting the Grey Cup in Western style, riding shotgun with the valuable cargo, where Northlands Park Volunteer President Don Jackson and General Manager Alan Skoreko.
That's right. Each year, Northlands, of course, stages the annual Klondike Days exposition. That's a huge deal here. You see it there on their float, and it celebrates the gold rush days of the 1890s. Good memories in Alberta.
Hopefully Briek's not involved. The float promotes the two other noted Edmonton events, the Farm Fair International, Canada's largest livestock show. The Canadian Rodeo Finals, they just wrapped up last weekend here in Edmonton, crowned Canadian Rodeo's best performers. And riding on the float is Miss Rodeo Canada of 1998, Brooke Robertson of Ponoka, Alberta.
That's right, and the racing sulkies that were down there a moment ago are a reminder of the Northlands Park's horse and harness racing events. They happen year-round down there. 60 Northlands volunteers are on horseback and marching with the entry.
And not too far behind that as we check out the chuck wagon.
That's right. This chuck wagon here is part of that, I believe, part of that Klondike celebration. Let's see, that's...
It's Northlands Park as well. It's a long entry, almost 400 feet in length. This section of the parade belonging to Edmonton Northlands.
That's right. And there's stuff going on there year-round. It's a non-profit organization, of course, that stages farm fairs and whatnot. The Canadian Finals Rodeo here, as you mentioned, was a big thing to come just a week before the Grey Cup. Huge celebration.
And that's Miss Rodeo Canada, 1998. Brooke Robertson of Ponoka, Alberta. And a good look at downtown Edmonton on an absolutely spectacular day. Let's face it, it's a big surprise. My friends knew I was coming out here to do the parade and said good luck in Edmonton in late November. Hey, those people are in snow and we have a spectacular day here.
That's right, we've got the boots and the parkas and didn't really seem to need them, which is just fantastic. I think we see some Eskimo fans here just as enthusiastic, even though unfortunately they aren't in the Grey Cup game.
Absolutely. They gave up the dressing room at Commonwealth Stadium and the home field in the Western Final to Saskatchewan, but I think a lot of Eskimos fans have their hearts with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and their entry, the Eskimos' 1926 white fire truck, I'm told, painted in club colors of green and gold. And at the wheel, real-life fireman Darwin Nachuk. I think we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes, that's right. They're taking a long time to get past, and it shows how many people they've got as part of the Northlands area there. That park clearly has a lot of people on its side ready to welcome everyone to Edmonton for this Grey Cup.
Yeah, that was Klondike Mike out there handing out some warm hugs and kisses on this brisk day. There he is.
There you go. He's a popular face around town, that's for sure. Okay, these are people who, even though Edmonton isn't in the Grey Cup, they're ready to cheer for the team anyway and cheer for the other two teams competing in tomorrow's game, the Eskimo cheer team. Now, over the course of the parade, Tom, we'll be seeing each of the CFL teams' cheer teams.
There are a lot of, let's say, ad hoc cheerleading teams that you'll see in the parade who make their way here and support their team. I'm not sure if the chicken refers to the feelings of the Argonauts.
Does it make a statement, do you think?
Yeah,
or, yeah,
perhaps.
that's right.
Yeah,
that's
how
right.
the Argos are feeling about this.
I think those Argos are in short supply down there. We know that they are winning the war of quality, they say, of fanship, if not quantity of fans here this weekend.
Also gives us a chance to remind you that we'll have a replay of the parade late night on CBC in Northern Alberta and Saskatchewan, so you get to get a good look at the parade once again.
Yeah, these sulkies we mentioned are, of course, a reminder of the Northlands Park's horse and harness events that go on year-round. Oh, it looks like fun.
60 Northlands volunteers on horseback and marching with the entry. We mentioned the sports theme here at Edmonton today. Harness racing, a big part of the sports scene in Edmonton.
Yeah, it's a pretty appropriate theme for a Grey Cup parade, I think.
Now the Edmonton Eskimos Football Club with their cheerleaders. You see them on the sidelines throughout the year in Edmonton. And a little movement comes in handy on a cool day, and they're thinking it's a big workout.
That's right. Many days, I'm sure it's to keep warm as much to get people going on the sidelines. As we mentioned, we'll be seeing members of cheer teams for every CFL team over the course of the parade today. So this is just the first, and of course it's their hometown. No surprise that they're so early on in the parade.
All right, let's head down to our man on the street, Mark Connolly. Mark?
Of course, everybody's wondering, where are the Ticats fans? I've got Vern here. Vern, that's your real name, right, Vern?
Right.
That's my real name. Vern, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. So you must be cheering for the Argos then, right?
No way. Hamilton fans, we do not cheer for the Argos.
Well, let's see the other side of your flag then. Now that's a quick conversion. That's a quick conversion. He's got the Rough Riders hat, the Ticats. Anybody but Toronto seems to be the theme here, I guess.
And we have the Ticats have a Grey Cup date in '98.
All right, great. Thanks, Vern.
All right, Mark. And seeing Hamilton and Saskatchewan reminds me of that great 1989 Grey Cup game between the Ticats and the Riders, a spectacular game.
Oh, and let me tell you, those Rough Riders, that's what they're remembering this weekend, is that 1989 game. They were called the underdog then. They say they don't mind being called the underdog now, and they're looking forward to it tomorrow.
The Eskimos cheerleaders, the Edmonton Football Club, disappointed they didn't beat Saskatchewan in that Western final, but the entry, as you see just behind there right now, is the Eskimos 1926 white fire truck, painted in club colors of green and gold. Darwin Snake-Chuck is behind the wheel, and the Eskimos putting on a good show. We'll have more from the Grey Cup Parade from Edmonton right after this. Stay with us. Welcome back to beautiful downtown Edmonton on a gorgeous afternoon on Grey Cup Eve as we continue our live coverage of the Grey Cup Parade here in downtown Edmonton. And as you can see, that is not the official ball for tomorrow's game. That is indeed the NFL, CFL Minor Football Capital District Football Association, and that's an 8.5-meter foam football with a truck inside, pulling a 17-meter long football gridiron. The Grey Cup on board was made from square feet of plush toy materials and 30 pounds of stuffing. These are volunteers from the Capital District Minor Football Association who have worked like crazy in an airport hangar during the last 6 days to just get that float built for a cost of $10,000. It's an effort to promote minor league football in Edmonton, which is very, very popular, and is supported by both the Canadian Football League and the NFL, part of the alliance between the two leagues. Along for the ride, young football players from Bantam, Pee-wee, and Atom teams in the Edmonton area. Once again, down to street level, here's Mark Connolly.
Tom, I've got the youngest Rider fan in the parade. His name is Alex. He's cheering for the Riders, but he's a little worried about the Argos. Any comments on Doug Flutie, Alex?
Well, I think if he's being chased all weekend, Mark.
Really, Alex? You think the Riders have a good chance?
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking they're going to do great.
Well, Alex is a little worried, but he's confident. Enjoy the parade.
Okay, Mark.
These fans are enjoying it.
Mark, you're no Charlie McCarthy. But then again, or no Edgar Bergen. Or maybe then you are a good Charlie McCarthy. We continue looking at all those minor football players here from Edmonton, where the tradition of this game is so great and why this game belongs in cities like Edmonton.
That's right. We've got some representatives of various schools around the city, too. Football players and the cheer team of Jasper Place High School are down on the ground, and they're cheering on their own team as well as their city pride.
Yeah, they are the Spruce Grove District Minor Football Cougars in their, blue and blue. That's Argo colors. Guys had to be careful picking out their jerseys today.
Right, they're here with that little baby that Mark was holding.
And they're having some fun. Now, the Edmonton Wildcat Football Club is also in amongst that sea of football players.
I think we'll be seeing a dune buggy from them in just a moment. So in the meantime, lots of minor football. Let's talk a moment about the NFL Alliance. Now, some of the advice was that they get kids in young and get enthusiastic about football at a young age. Football experience was a huge hit at this Grey Cup. That was something borrowed from the NFL to give people a real sense of what it's like to play, whether it's calling a winning touchdown as a sportscaster or throwing a football at a censored targets. That football experience, as it was called, an interactive theme park, was a big family hit this week.
Indeed. And the NFL has kept up this alliance and will continue to do so for the next, at least the next couple of years. Maybe not monetarily, but certainly in advisory capacity in terms of trying to sell the game in Canada and market well in cities where the crowds aren't quite so enthusiastic as they are at Edmonton. And that's, I believe, the Jasper Place High School team and cheerleaders.
That's right. We announced their arrival before we saw them.
Jasper Place proud of their football program.
And it sure looks like they value football at that school. Look at that. Oh, there we go. They're waving hello, and they're proud of their school and their city.
Of course, parades have a life of their own. They go fast, they go slow. We catch up, we get behind. It's a little like a football game in the CFL, come to think of it.
Yeah,
certainly like the Western and Eastern finals, so you get a sense of the crowd. Lots of numbers, estimates as much as 100,000 people lining the streets today.
That's right. Now, people who did want to buy parkas, Grey Cup parkas, were going for $195. T-shirts as low as $22.
And that's the Cadillac of the Edmonton Wildcat Football Club. The buggy driven up and down the sideline during their games. They play 8 games a year, and they're celebrating their 50th anniversary, which gives you some idea of the roots of the game in Western Canada, especially here in Edmonton. It's the team's first appearance, by the way, in a Grey Cup parade, and only the, I think it's their first appearance ever in any kind of parade.
Oh, isn't that great? Well, they seem to be managing it very well and with a lot of enthusiasm. And this is Santa's helpers and Mrs. Claus. They've got the Grey Cup spirit, as you see, as they float along with players and cheerleaders from the Victoria Composite High School football team. Where's Santa himself? Well, there's a rumor that he'll kick off the Christmas season in Edmonton tonight by emerging from the football later. That big football there. And what he'll be lighting is Yule, that's Y-U-L-E, Love Downtown Christmas display in Churchill Square.
That's a beautiful look of downtown and that gigantic float we just saw from ground level. And you get a sense of the crowd, at least 8 to 10 deep on either side of the street. We're right in the downtown core of Edmonton. That's Churchill Square on the left-hand side of your screen, and not too far away is City Hall. And that is gunfire, but it is not Los Angeles.
Don't be alarmed.
Don't be alarmed. You know you're in Canada. You know you're in Canada when there is gunfire and nobody is scattering. This is Legends of the West. The Klondike Kid and his gunslingers from the Legends West reenact a Western-style shootout. They did it outside the hotel last night. Kept some people awake. Edmontonian Ken Armstrong portrays the lanky, leather-clad Klondike Kid. The group stages these gunfights for a lot of different events around town, and they've been known to do hold-ups, busloads of conventioneers with loot, which they gather as donations, and they donate to charity. And it's worth mentioning as well, along with the parade today, it's a food drive, and people have been asked to bring along canned goods and non-perishable goods for the local food bank here in Edmonton. Good cause and a good fun.
That's right. Who minds being held up if it's for a contribution?
It's not exactly high noon, but it's pretty good.
I was just watching to see whether or not he was going to make it.
This guy just can't decide how long to milk the death scene, I think.
That's right, but there may be an Academy Award coming to him after this. Nope, he got up, he's up again.
Oh, that should just about do it.
Oh, look at that, and they're having fun. Look at that. This is, this is the time that kids really remember in terms of getting enthusiastic about parades and football. Now, this is Desmond the Dragon. It's courtesy of Edmonton Power. He's a 15-meter lean green power machine. And his flashing eyes and animated roars and flapping wings have been a big hit. Back in 1995, this float won, actually, first prize in the commercial category of the Grey Cup Parade in Regina. It actually floats, this float does. Believe it or not, it was designed back in 1986 for the sourdough raft race during Klondike days, and it's got, when it has 50 horsepower engine, Desmond the Dragon can cruise the waters of the North Saskatchewan at speeds of up to 13 kilometers an hour. He's just blowing off a bit of steam, Tom.
Good one. I sure hope they paid their bills.
That's right. As we said, this is the Edmonton Power. So there's no shortage of power for Desmond, I guess. And Desmond isn't alone today. He's with Desi the Baby Dragon and 4 members of the Edmonton Huskies junior football team.
Now I know why they call it a float. Grey Cup 97. In the heartland of Canada, certainly in the heartland of Canadian football, Alberta and Saskatchewan. I don't want to offend our Saskatchewan viewers. You guys love it as well. It's where the game belongs. Now that's a lion, which means it's got to be the Lions Club. How big is the Lions organization worldwide? 41,000 clubs, 1.4 million members, 178 countries around the world. And that giant-sized lion's head on the front and half a globe on the rear is decorated in the Lions colors, purple and yellow. Their motto is "We Serve." And in his all his glory and enjoying this parade today in a special way, I think, is John Tory, the acting CFL commissioner and CEO of the league. John, I know you're enjoying the day. I guess the question I ask is, why is this only the second time we've seen this Grey Cup in Edmonton? This is great.
Well, it is great, and I tell you, it's going to be back as soon as we can get it back here because they've done a great job. Next year, it'll be just as good in Winnipeg. It's a great day for the league and a great day for Canada. I'm so proud to be a Canadian.
John, what can Western teams like Edmonton and Saskatchewan teach the rest of the CFL about building and keeping their fan support?
Well, I think it's grassroots. You probably saw all those kids who are playing football that were walking along earlier in the parade. I'm not sure you'd see that anywhere else. And there's just such a great community spirit here. People come out and volunteer for everything. So we're going to try and rebuild that in the East next year. It's our top priority, and we're going to make this thing go. It's just fabulous out here, though. Couldn't be better.
And I noticed you've awarded the 1998 game to Winnipeg, keeping it in the West. No mistake there, I guess.
Yes, and I hope the East will be strong enough in a couple of years to have it there, but next year in Winnipeg. We'll see you there, CBC.
All right, John Tory, thanks very much.
Thank you.
And we'll have more for the 1997 Grey Cup Parade from downtown Edmonton in just a moment. Stay with us.
And welcome back to the 1997 Grey Cup Parade. We're here in Edmonton. Thank you to Crystal Glass for those fantastic aerial shots. Give us a whole sense of what this beautiful city looks like on Grey Cup Parade Day.
And then if you're wondering what that white ball is, that's called a West Cam, invented in Canada, and allows a very steady picture despite the fact that a helicopter is carrying that camera. Look how steady and smooth that beautiful picture of downtown Edmonton is. A little bit of Canadian ingenuity now used worldwide by television networks, and something to be proud of. The West Cam aboard that chopper high above downtown Edmonton.
That's right, and we're still in the midst of this fantastic parade within a parade, we're calling it. It's the Calgary Grey Cup Committee, and what a huge entry they have. Hundreds and hundreds of people. We're seeing people on horseback in the colors of the Stampede and the Stampeders, that red and white. And look at these little kids. Are they having a good time? I wonder how early it was that they lined up for this parade.
Well, John Tory mentioned seeing all the kids along the route today in the parade, and he's talked about the lost generation of CFL fans that he wants to get back to support this league. And seeing young children lining the streets and all those young football players in the parade today is encouraging signs for finding kids and developing fans in the future.
Absolutely. You know who else we're seeing a lot of on the sidelines today, and that's volunteers who've been working tirelessly across the city for weeks. The original call went out for about 600 volunteers. As many as 1,000 or more than 1,000 volunteered for the volunteer job, and they've been at every venue throughout the week and will be tomorrow too. And isn't that just great? It's a real show of city support here in Edmonton.
Well, today's entry of the Calgary Grey Cup Committee Parade, the parade within the parade as we've called it, led by the drum line of the 1st Battalion of the Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry and a lone piper, but that's not a pipe band for sure. That's a lot of people having fun on a wagon.
That's right. We're looking for some of the royalty of the Stampede. Let's just enjoy some of this hoedown music.
And as we look at the Calgarians having a terrific time, including the nuns, I see they may have somebody on their side. They hope. Hockey Night in Canada tonight. Molson Hockey Night in Canada, Quebec and East will see the Capitals at the Montreal Canadiens, while viewers in Ontario and West can watch the Penguins take on Matt Sundin and the Toronto Maple Leafs. And those games will be followed by none other than the Battle of Alberta, the Flames and the Oilers. Both teams are struggling. That is the second half of our doubleheader at Northlands Coliseum. Our CBC crew is on hand getting ready for that game. Should be a nice little tilt between the Flames and Oilers. Both teams in need of a win. And back to our friends from Calgary.
That's right. I wonder who those nuns are cheering for. Oh, and it's so wonderful that it isn't too cold for these kids. You know, it's so funny in Edmonton mid-November to not see everyone bundled up in balaclavas. Let's get a good wave from that sweetheart. Oh, there's a sleeping bag or something over these guys. Now, they came prepared. But they might not even need all that coverage. Beautiful, beautiful day.
Once again, let's go street side and our friend, Mark Connolly. Mark. As it turns out, Mark is a better ventriloquist than we thought. He threw his voice, and we don't know where it ended up. We'll get back to you, Mark. We will. It's an awful lot of effort to get that person on top of your head.
That's right. Now, we're, you know, this is a huge contingent from Calgary. We're looking for exactly what show band this is, where we think they might be the 1st Battalion.
The 1st Battalion of Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry and a lone piper. I don't know. I don't hear a pipe playing just yet. I think they made some changes on us without telling us, but that's okay. It's a Grey Cup parade.
That's right. We'll have to ask them exactly as they go by, and they're right behind us.
And the theme you hear is, of course, the theme from the Calgary Olympics in 1988, written by Canada's own David Foster. We'll continue our live coverage of the 1996 Grey Cup Parade from downtown Edmonton right after this break. Welcome back to Edmonton, Alberta, the site of our extensive coverage of the Grey Cup here on CBC. It's the Stampede Parade, a great tradition, a tradition that's had some rough times in the last few years, but here in Edmonton, it's alive and well, a spectacular parade so far.
That's right. It feels like it's just filled with optimism for the future, optimism and enthusiasm about the Grey Cup Parade being here, Grey Cup game tomorrow. It's just a great, great mood down here on the ground.
I wouldn't hesitate to estimate how big this crowd is, but if you can look at the streets of Edmonton, these crowds are 20 deep perhaps on both sides of the street. This is right in the heart of downtown Edmonton as we see the Pride of the Lions band go by. And once again, let's join our friend Mark Connolly. Mark, have you found your voice?
I have, Tom. Thank you very much. And, you know, some people are having a tough time seeing the parade, so I'm trying to make sure they see it one person at a time. This is Brianna. Brianna, do you want to say hi to your mom? Good job, Brianna. Okay, I got about 30 other kids lined up, so I'm going to have to go, all right? I'm going to have to get these other kids up here, too.
All right, Mark, thanks a lot. That's CKRM, the voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, as we get into a heavy dose of rider pride in the parade. You saw the Calgary Stampede folks, and now it's Gaynor the Gopher.
That's right, and he's dressed warmly, and he's trying to boost that enthusiasm for all those Saskatchewanians that used to live there and now live here, or still live there and have visited here for this weekend. This is a huge contingent from Saskatchewan, as we've said already, come just west, one province west. Yeah, no, I'm looking at somebody in shorts here. It's not quite that warm, but they must be happy that their instruments aren't so cold as they put their mouths to those mouthpieces.
That's the Rough Riders cheer team. I guess you probably could have guessed that. And followed up by the rest of the flock wearing their rider pride in green. And you walk into a restaurant or a bar in this town right now, and if you're not wearing green, you get verbally assaulted. That's the kind of Grey Cup pride we like to see. There he is, the Gaynor. He's working out. He's pumped. He's ready to go.
That's right. He's just warming up for tomorrow, I think.
Yep.
This is the Heartbeat Tour. It's still part of the Saskatchewan contingent. Look, they're getting ready to do the wave, teaching it to everybody in advance. Well, it's a pretty happy contingent from Saskatchewan, that's for sure. Now, their theme is Great in 98. This is Regina Tourism's float. Now, they say Great in 98 to commemorate all the things coming up in the city next year, although I'm sure they hope to be great in 97. And this is highlighting some of the events we'll see in Regina, like the Can-Am Police and Fire Games. We talked to a few firefighters that are involved in that, getting organizing for that. The Tournament of Hearts Women's Curling Championships, and the 125th anniversary of the RCMP, Tom. So they've got a lot going on in Regina next year. They're doing some advanced promotion for that at the parade here. Now, this is one of the longest continuous entries in the Grey Cup Parade, Regina's float it was. I spoke to the float master, a commercial artist named Rolly Barassa that they've called the Float Meister, or the Float Guru, and he seems to have a very, very good time. Most of this, of course, done by volunteers.
And, of course, the Booster Club as well in full attendance and obviously full regalia here this afternoon.
And there's a rumor that there might actually be some farm equipment coming down the road in a moment, but we'll see whether or not that's true. That's right. Some nice drum work happening here. Let's have a listen to these guys, Tom. Green Santa hats in the crowd.
Rider pride. I was reading a story in today's Edmonton Journal about a load of Saskatchewan fans who took a bus from all over the province essentially and drove all night, about 11 hours to get here for the game.
Oh, what a trip.
And all I can tell you is that they got here safely and in relatively good shape, and are very, very happy to be here. And they're promised to make the kind of noise you'll never forget in the Commonwealth Stadium. And of course, it happens right here on CBC, and our coverage is very extensive, beginning at 4 Eastern and 2 Mountain Time with the countdown. Brian Williams, of course, will have that. And don't forget, after the game, if that's not enough, the Grey Cup is not enough, we've got Don Cherry Life and Times. Can you stand it? What a night of television on CBC.
That's right. It is a sports lover's dream, that's for sure.
As you look at the City of Champions, Edmonton, Alberta. And now,
and these look like the Saskatoon Optimist twirling connection. No pessimism here, and that means that they must just never drop those batons, I guess. They've had a fantastic year. Many of the baton twirlers here have collected gold medals at this summer's Canadian Championships in Edmonton. And they wanted to thank parents from the group, and also the University of Saskatchewan Huskies coach Brian Torres, somebody that I know you've met, Tom. Thanks to them, the team is back in Edmonton, this time to cheer for their riders.
I think she's enjoying herself.
All right. I think everyone's enjoying themselves down here. They're having a grand old time.
This is what the parade is supposed to be about. And I can remember watching the parades years and years ago in the heydays of the CFL. And it's back. If anything, Edmonton is breathing life back into the lake. And there it is.
That's right. This is that farm equipment I was talking about. There's a very funny story here about this combine that was back in one of the last games of the regular season in 1999. 1989. A Stampede announcer. This was. There was Saskatchewan was playing here in Edmonton, and one of the people at the gates, there was a big announcement, Saskatchewan fan so-and-so sitting in this seat, your combine lights are on, could you please return to the parking lot? At least they've shown they've got a good sense of humor about it. They brought their farm equipment. They say they want the rider fans to feel at home.
There have been rumors that a private citizen was going to drive a combine down the Yellowhead Highway to get to the parade. We haven't seen him yet. We don't know if he made it.
No.
Let's head back down to street side now and join Mark Connolly. Check that. We'll get back to Mark a little later.
This one was actually supplied by an Edmonton farm equipment company, Martin Equipment. So I think they came here, borrowed it, and they were going to ride it with the lights on. And as you can see, the lights have been on. So they got a bit of a laugh.
Say hey and say hello to Mark Connolly.
All right, Tom. I don't want to do this too. I don't want to do this too loudly. Got to come a little closer. I found someone here, very unusual, an Argonaut fan. Evan Butchers, you're from Ontario. Not too loud now. Don't want to cause any trouble here. But you are an Argonaut fan, correct?
Yes, from Frankfurt, Ontario.
And you've been to the Grey Cup before?
Yes, I've only missed 4 Grey Cups since 1960.
I understand you were there in 1962, right?
I was there in 62 at the Fog Bowl.
Did you see that game?
I did.
You saw that game? Come on, Evan. That was a Fog Bowl. Nobody saw that game. That's it. I caught an Argo fan in the lie. You heard it.
Somehow
right
I
here.
don't think it's Evans' his real name. He may be protecting himself just in case. Now, the North Battleford City Kinsman Band, one of the last-minute parade entries from Saskatchewan. The North Battleford City Kinsman, one of the province's best. It's performed for the Queen, back at Expo 67 in Montreal and Expo 86 in Vancouver. 50 band members appearing today drove from North Battleford this morning. They'll turn around in a couple of hours and drive home tonight because they were actually asked to play outside Commonwealth Stadium before the game tomorrow, but they had to turn it down, unfortunately, because there was no way to get back home on Sunday. So they're making the most of it with this effort today. Band members are from throughout Battleford community, 11 to 18 years old, and they sound just great. We'll continue our live coverage of the 1997 Grey Cup Parade from Edmonton, Alberta in just a moment. Welcome back to the capital of Alberta, Edmonton, the seat of the government and the seat of the Grey Cup this year. And in case you didn't realize it, those are Rider fans. I don't know what the giveaway was. Maybe the noise. But don't forget, and a reminder that late night tonight in northern Alberta and Saskatchewan, we will have this parade in replay for you. I know if you've been staying up late all week and watching those great Grey Cup replays, then you're in the mood to stay up late and watch the parade. And of course, coming up after the parade, more football coverage with Brian Williams as we continue Grey Cup Saturday. You'll have an interview with John Tory and Paul Tagliabue, the commissioner of the NFL and of the CFL. Set previews for the game, and of course, that sets you up for tomorrow when we have a terrific day of programming. The CFL's crowning moment.
Was that an abused Argonaut? I think in the crowd, I'm not sure. It looked as though that's a warning being issued by some Rider fan.
There's our man, the Flame, a very loyal and obviously very confident Saskatchewan fan. Confident not in the team per se, but confident that his equipment will work.
Yeah.
And we won't see him in the emergency room later today.
That's right. Let's take a look at this crowd.
I think the guy there, his name is Ed. Oh, it's a she, I'm sorry. And there's Di.
And
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Rider Pride.
I think so.
I'm such a fool. They've had a good time. The Rider fans have been raucous. And Rider football is so big in the province that this is as big a moment a year in the province as they'll ever have. And it's wonderful. It's so much about what Grey Cup and about what CFL is all about.
That's right. Now I think they're slowing the parade down a little bit, but I'm sure they don't mind at all. Bring the cut back, Saskatchewan. That's what they're hoping for tomorrow, that's for sure.
Hopefully we'll have a big audience, as we usually do for the Grey Cup, tomorrow evening on CBC. And the parade moves along as the Rider folks move along. And that's a good look at the BC Lions cheer team. BC Lions in the playoffs this year, of course, were knocked off by the Montreal Alouettes, who then fell to the Toronto Argonauts, who made it to the Grey Cup here in Edmonton.
That's right. Now they're not used to horribly.
And a reminder that we are not only the CFL and Grey Cup Network, we are also the Olympic Network.
Saskatchewan by 10.
Saskatchewan by 10, you heard it. He's a betting man, and there's a very cute fan. I thought it was interesting to note, now that we've seen the Rider fans go by, that the leader of the opposition in Saskatchewan has asked Premier Roy Romanow to resign because he believes that since the Riders have never won a Grey Cup under an NDP administration, it's time for the NDP to resign. Now, apparently Mr. Romano's reaction was, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's
so
right. Romanow,
they have a lot of fun there.
He's not much of a Rider fan then, I think, if he's not even willing to do it just for tomorrow. That's got a funny history there, so I guess somebody's keeping that kind of political statistic.
And of course, this parade only just whets the appetite. There are a lot more Grey Cup parties downtown tonight. The place will even be crazier than this. They're also lighting the Christmas lights tonight, just out here behind us in Churchill Square, as one season blends into another. We go from Grey Cup to Christmas or something like that.
That's right. Actually, usually the Santa here doesn't light them quite this early in Churchill Square, but it's because of Grey Cup festivities.
This is the Kimberley Bavarian Society. Kimberley is an alpine town of about 6,700, located in British Columbia's Kootenay mountain range, about 350 kilometers southwest of Calgary. The float is a slice of downtown Kimberley, the Bavarian city of the Rockies. It depicts the town's downtown Bavarian storefronts, chiming cuckoo clock, two Frauleins, and the town mascot, whose name is Happy Hands. And as you know, happy hands make light work or something. This professionally built float, by the way, was designed and constructed by Parade Display of Calgary, and tours each year throughout British Columbia, Alberta, Washington State, Montana, and Idaho. That's the folks from Kimberley, British Columbia, the Bavarian town of the Rockies.
That's right, beautiful float, and it looks like these folks are enjoying it.
Sehr gut, as they might say in Germany.
Ein Prosit, I was thinking of. Yeah. And here are the Edmonton Crusaders. Now, they've been marching double time to get ready for their appearance today. Of course, ordinarily, they wouldn't march until the spring, but today's parade was such a big opportunity, they didn't want to miss it. And the band is playing the Children of Sanchez under the direction of Roy Townend. He's been the band director there for 10 years. Our kids range between 13 and 21 years old. They're come from throughout the Edmonton area. And they've actually been, for the past 6 years in a row, they've been Canadian Marching Band champions. So let's listen to them for a moment. Oh, they sound just great, and actually the band recruited an honorary drum major for today. That was Mark Schultz, who's host of the local television station.
And right behind them, the Sea Cadets Navy League of Canada. Band officer Navy Cadet Wynne Humphreys leads more than 270 Sea Cadets and Navy League cadets from the city of Edmonton and the surrounding town of Sherwood Park, Stony Plain, Holden, and Fort Saskatchewan. The drum major is Petty Officer Denny Robinson of Sherwood Park. The band is playing Hearts of Oak, a traditional naval song played the world over. This is just the band's third time playing together. They sound pretty good. Let's listen. And there are the Sea Cadets, who are 12 to 19 years of age. They're wearing the short jackets. The younger Navy League cadets, who are 10 to 13 years old, are dressed in bell-bottom pants and pea jackets. And as you're well aware, bell-bottoms are making a comeback. I know
Especially this parade.
It's a frightening thought, come to think of it. Well, the band, as I said, hasn't played together much. They sounded great. The individual, of course, have practiced separately, gotten together only for the third time, but sounding good in this 1997 Grey Cup parade from Edmonton.
Well, this certainly is a wonderful chance for bands and other groups to showcase their talents. The country is watching, and they're happy to be here.
A reminder, much more to come on CBC this afternoon as we continue Grey Cup Saturday. Interviews with the commissioners of the CFL and the NFL with Brian Williams. A look at Rider Pride. Steve Armitage, Caroline Corey with feature reports to whet your appetite for a big Sunday of football. Saskatchewan and Toronto in the Grey Cup game. And of course, we have a pregame show tomorrow as well. Great weekend of television for Canadian sports fans.
That's right. This has been just a fantastic parade. Beautiful color, tons of enthusiasm. Look at that shot. That's just beautiful. Color party and the group behind.
Sea Cadets and Navy League of Canada. A huge contingent. As I mentioned, from around the city of Edmonton, Sherwood Park, Stony Plain, Holden, and Fort Saskatchewan. Everybody feeling a great deal of pride watching the Sea Cadets today. Beneath a beautiful blue sky. Once again, no big deal holding a Grey Cup in Western Canada at the end of November.
That's right. There's been not a weather challenge at all. It's been absolutely beautiful today. Better weather than we could have hoped for. As we said, somebody has connections in high places, I think, because you could not hope for a better day than the one we got today for this fantastic parade. We just can only hope that it holds up for tomorrow also.
Maybe it was the nuns we saw earlier. We will have more for the 1997 Grey Cup Parade on Grey Cup Saturday on CBC right after this. Stay with us.
And welcome back to Grey Cup Saturday. This is the Grey Cup Parade downtown Edmonton. What a fantastic day it's been. It's absolutely beautiful out here. And Tom, I'm very sad to say that the parade is winding down. We're just about done.
People had an awfully good time, Sharon. It's been a great day, and I think Brian mentioned it off the top that this is a day to celebrate CFL football. It's a time to rejoice in the tradition, and Edmonton has done a great job with this parade, and I think with this game coming up tomorrow, it's been fun for both of us. For Sharon Bassaraba, I'm Tom Harrington. Back to you, Brian, and have some more fun.